Bienvenue, je suis Christophe Bongo and this is Fut-Afrique channel. I decided to know everybody that I work with, and starting today is nobody else but Aunty Diski. Why do they call you Aunty Diski?
You know, it's so funny actually sitting on this side of the table because now I'm so used to being the one that interviews people and now I'm being interviewed. But the name Aunty Diski obviously is self-explanatory. Diski we know means football, and auntie is just an elderly lady that we know who takes care of people.
Okay.
So I think I used to have lots of different social media names when I, stepped into the social media spaces, and a lot of names didn't resonate to my brand. I think I was a fan, and then became.
Are you a brand?
I am a brand.
Okay.
I've transitioned to being a brand. I came from being a hooligan on social media. I was just a fan that was very emotional. I mean, fans, you know how we are. But I saw a space that could generate revenue and that could give me so much growth.
You are a brand.
I am a
because
brand.
You generate revenue.
Generate revenue, and I also saw a gap in the market for somebody that...
We'll talk about it. So I want to introduce you. I want people to know who you are. And I'm walking on the street and then I meet you, besides being beautiful. And now I want to know who you are. So I said, who are you?
I would say my name, Jessica Nkomo, Aunty Diski, the face and the voice of women in sports.
Women in sport, I like that part. She represents women in sport. You are passionate about women in sport, or you are passionate about sport and women?
I'm passionate about sports in general. However, women in sports is so much more close to my heart. It's more of a personal relationship.
Why? Did you try to play football or netball or volleyball that you could not, and then you found out that because you can't do it, you want to live your life through others' eyes, or what?
Firstly, I can't kick a ball. I did play netball. I did athletics. I did volleyball. First team, by the way. I have colors.
Well done.
I did equestrian horse riding. I know this is a little bit weird for an African girl to be doing horse riding, but I was a very good
By the
short
way,
jumper.
somebody's watching us in Canada or in Hong Kong, like you do. You say, I got colors. What does it mean?
Colors means accolades. It's awards, depending on how good you are.
Okay.
So if you are nominated as player of the season or player of the team or whatever the case is, you do get colors. It's scrolls that you wear on your blazer. If you've seen school kids, they have all these badges and scrolls on them. That's basically what it means.
So you have some achievement in sport itself.
Definitely.
So you're a sport person.
I am a sports person because academically in school, I was okay. I was fair. I was okay. I wasn't great. And in a group of my friends, they were academically superb. They got 80s and 90s, and I was there in the 60s and 70s. But I found sports to be one of my strengths. And then, so basically, I was the one in the 90s and 100s in sports when they were doing it academically. So I was very good in sports.
And if you want to make money in sports, most people, they will go to men's sport.
100%.
And you went to women in sport and women's sport. Why?
For me, it wasn't a money move, and I want to tell this to
that is
anybody.
before you become a brand.
No. After I became a brand, that's when I
when
went
you become
to...
a brand, become about money.
Yeah, it becomes about money. However, remember I mentioned personal in the beginning.
Okay.
So we put the money aside. Having a personal relationship with many female athletes, seeing the challenges and the difficult frustrations that they had to go through within the sporting fraternity and nobody to help them. That's when I felt like I need to make it my business and my mission to help them.
So
the objective is always money. Let's just be honest.
So that's the part of the anti-part, which looking after people.
Looking after people.
What are the difficulties of women in sport? By the way, when you talk about sport, you talk for athletes or administrators as well?
Athletes, broadcasters, administrators, match officials, any woman.
So anybody.
That
you're
is
a woman, you're in sports.
You're in sports.
Aunty Diski is there for you.
100%.
What are the biggest challenges that you have for women in sports, especially in... By the way, just correct me if I'm wrong. She is the only woman to have the first and the only agency that looks only after women. Is all the only I said are correct?
Yeah, you did. You hit it on the nail. The onlys are correct.
So what are your challenges? Yes, money is often the challenges. We are in Africa, and we know women are often looked as a second citizen. So those have become a big problem. But what are other challenges in general?
So there's challenges coming from a player's perspective, what they face, and there's challenges coming from an agent's perspective, being the auntie, being the representative. And I'll talk about that a little bit more, because I think the players' challenges have been exposed in a lot of platforms, but people don't understand the challenges that the agency would face. For instance, we know that we have one league, which is semi-pro, it's an amateur league, meaning that not all the teams in that specific league have a salary for their players. Some players don't get paid at all. Some get a stipend of about 1,000 Rand a month, and it varies to how big the club is. Meaning now, if you sign a player who's currently playing for a team that doesn't pay them, it becomes your business to ensure that they attend training, because you don't want to have your player missing training. So you take it upon yourself.
I mean, now I start understanding the auntie part.
Yes.
Because basically you become a mother.
You become a mother to make sure that your child goes to training, they attend matches, they have soccer boots on their feet, they have the necessary food that they need in their stomach in order for them to perform. And you do all that
with, because when you take a child to school, there is a hope that your child will get a certificate and find a job. What is your hope of doing all that? What is beside the love?
Yeah, of course. My objective is to ensure that you get them from point A to point B, from point B to point C in their lives, that you are going to now see the investment that you've put into those athletes, and it's going to work back. I already mentioned that for me, the move was never a money move. It was more about the passion and helping where I can, eventually that the players get to a point where they help back.
Do you consider yourself as a CSI project?
At times, I need to be honest, at times, because there's things that I've had to limit for myself. There's things that I don't have access to anymore, because with the little that I have, I feel like I need to share with
the reason I ask that question is because, we might take this video and bring it to you as a corporate and for you to listen. How can you incorporate what you are doing to a corporate environment for them to see the value of your effort? How will you do that? How do you sell that project?
So as an agency, it's a very difficult one to sell, because corporates do have a mandate and a quota to meet in terms of funding specific organizations or initiatives that give back to the community, either it being charity or, the pillars for community upliftment. Where an agency is not an NGO, it makes it difficult for corporates to...
But can't you register a part of your business as an NGO, a part as a charity, a part as a business?
That's exactly what the objective is for 2024. After reviewing that one man's pocket is not enough to look after so many kids. Yes. So the other angle to look at it is to register an NGO that basically invites anybody who's willing to generate some sort of income that doesn't go to the agency, however, goes back to giving back to those athletes to make sure that they have boots, they have a place to stay, they can travel to training, and just have the necessary basic requirements that a player has. We're not talking about a player who wants to go and have a beautiful hairstyle and have nails or whatever the case is, just basic necessities.
You are part of Fut-Afrique family. So take us through, maybe we don't understand. Take us through a day of Aunty Diski. From the morning when she wakes up, just pick up one day. Maybe a day that you're picking up a player from the airport, or you're speaking to one lady who has a personal issue.
Yes.
So take us through that day so that, your colleagues that you work with, they should understand when they see you with your eyes maybe smiling or crying. They should understand. So take us to a bad day, not a good one. Let's start with a bad day.
Okay. So let's start the night before. Obviously, the night before, coming to Fut-Afrique, you've got preparations to make once you receive your script, doing a little bit of research to make sure that you're prepared for work the next day. So that means a little bit of a late night. And then you sleep, you wake up early in the morning, depending on the call time, have to do your makeup, look pretty, look presentable, come to work, and then we do your show. After you do the show, there is a possibility of a podcast. You do the podcast. When you finish that, you rush to a meeting with one of the clubs. Beginning of the season, it's that time when we negotiate contracts. Players are looking for clubs, players are negotiating for better salaries and that kind of thing. So you have that meeting, you're in the boardroom, you're fighting, there's a bit of a back and forth. Obviously now your mood has changed. You leave there, you go to another meeting with another club, you have the conversation again, you don't agree on money, then you have a meeting with the sponsor.
But how do you do that? You have this player, need 5 rand to survive. Okay, minimum 5 rand to survive. This club is offering 6 rand, but you know the value of your player is 7 rand.
100%.
Will you walk away?
So I like that you asked me that. Here's the thing, with me, I can never ever be able to tell a player what they need to do. It needs to be their decision, because that decision, they have to live up to it.
So tell me, I'm a player. So I want you to tell me those options. You're like a lawyer.
In that instance, I would then give you the options.
Yeah, tell me.
I will tell you that.
Yes.
According to me.
Yes.
I think let's walk. Let's walk from A, let's walk from B, let's walk from D. Let's try this. Maybe let's try C, because I feel like your value.
But I still need 5 rand.
You still need 5 rand. That's why I make it your choice to choose. But
I'm
telling you about the pros. Rand. I'm telling you that you're worth 10.
You telling me
they're offering us 5, and I'm telling you you're worth 10.
Abstract.
Yes.
It's still abstract. I need 5.
You don't need 5.
And they are offering me 5.
You think you need 5 because they've been trained to make you believe that you deserve 5. So now when you believe that you need 5 and
I feel like I'm talking to a lawyer now.
You're not.
It just came out.
It just came because, let me tell you something about women's sports and the space that we are in. We are dealing with people that have been conditioned to think a specific way. You're dealing with people that have been told that this is how high they can get. This is how much they deserve. Now they've then spent all this time believing that that's what they're worth. Somebody has come and said, absolutely not. You cannot be a player who plays for the national team, who scores on a frequent basis, who's a primary starter, plays for the top 5 teams in the league. You've got accolades for either the Gold Glove, the top goal scorer, and you're still bagging 5 rand.
You know what? I wish for you to look at the camera and tell the director of industry what you think they need to do.
So, I really think a director of the industry, and specifically women directors, women that sit in boardrooms and have portfolios and make executive decisions about the budget of the companies, I wish for you ladies to actually invest in women's sport. We are well packaged. We've seen what Banyana can do. We've seen what the Proteas can do. We just want you to join Momentum. We want you to join Sasol. We want you to join all these other corporate companies that have come on board to support women's sports before it was fashionable to do so. When you sit in boardrooms and you're talking about the inclusion and empowering women, please step outside on the field, on the court, and invest in women's sports.
Before I go.
Yeah.
Why do they don't sponsor women's sports?
They don't sponsor women's sports because it doesn't meet their ROI criteria. You need return on investment. As a company, no company is just willing to give out money. What am I getting from you that's going to be beneficial to me? Already we have a bit of a challenging aspect when it comes to broadcasting. We can't have a front logo sponsor for Hollywood Bets League. So, okay, I'm already missing out on that. If I'm going to have a shoulder, where am I going to see that? So it doesn't play on SABC. Okay, it does play on SABC maybe twice in the whole season. So it becomes challenging to say, I'm not seeing my product. It's not marketed well.
So we need platform.
We need platforms. We need broadcast.
We need content.
Yes.
But most importantly, I used to say when I was working for women football at FIFA, we need stars.
Yes.
We need to create stars.
The stars are there. The stars are there in the villages, in the townships, at home, there just isn't enough structures that are discovering them.
That is Aunty Diski. I am Christophe Bongo. Until next time, I introduce you to another beautiful person from Fut-Afrique family. Until there, au revoir.